So God of High School is a webtoon that recently got an anime adaptation by Crunchyroll and Webtoons working together, similar to that of Tower of God, which came out last season. And with Tower of God turning out to be a pretty decent adaptation of the webtoon, people were fairly excited to see the adaptation for God of High School. Including myself, as I've read the original source material around 2 years ago, and I found the story and the art to be very good and very entertaining. So naturally I'd be very excited for an anime adaptation for what I consider to be a very good webtoon. And as I've watched the anime on a weekly basis, I slowly to recognize certain flaws that the anime has that the webtoon doesn't have that are very much hurting my enjoyment of the series. Which is that the pacing of the show is absolutely horrendous. To the point that certain scenes that I consider important within the webtoon aren't even included in the anime at all whatsoever for no other reason than just they need to cramp as much stuff as they can within one episode. Now granted, the animation for the show is extremely beautiful, definitely top tier. I'm definitely not complaining about the animation because it's absolutely gorgeous. But well-choreographed fight scenes and good animation aren't the only things you need to make a good anime. As without good character development and pacing, the story just feels very bland and at times even empty. Now, while I think the pacing of the whole show in general is just not that good, I think there's specific moments where it's absolutely horrendous, such as the first episode where they completely rushed Jin, Han, and Mira's character development and just went straight to the tournament arc, rather than actually spending the time to develop the characters. In the webtoon, Jin, Han, and Mira all have chapters dedicated to their character introduction, motives, as well as their backstory. But in the anime, that was completely gone. We were briefly introduced to them within a matter of minutes, and then they're immediately thrown within a tournament arc, where they just start fighting right away without really elaborating what's going on, which is just bad pacing and results in the audience just getting confused. Yumira's wedding was one of the moments that I thought that the anime has messed up pretty big compared to the webtoon. Where in the anime, they completely rushed through why Mira was getting married. In fact, I believe they didn't even tell us why Mira wanted to marry him, despite the fact that she doesn't want to marry him, and that just makes it super confusing. But in the webtoon, they actually show you why Mira wants to get married to him. It's the fact that her family's poor and in debt, and the author in the original webtoon illustrates this very well by showing a flashback, though being generic, is very helpful and informative, and gives the audience a reason to understand why Mira would accept this marriage. But in the anime, they completely glossed over this completely, and went from something that we as an audience understood the purpose of to being confused to why she would even accept the marriage proposal in the first place. Which just kinda infuriates me to no end, because they kinda just ruined the scene. Oh yeah, another scene they completely glossed over is Jin meeting with Bok Chim, which is supposed to happen around episode 4 or 5, I believe. But I think they just instead decide to introduce Bok Chim to Jin at episode 7, where they just meet in a park for 5 seconds, and that's it. What? That just completely confuses me, because in the original webtoon, Jin goes to a prison cell, or something that sounds like a prison cell, where Bok Chim was trapped, and frees him. That's how they met in the first interaction. And yet, in the anime, they just completely decide not to do this, and have them meet in a park, for apparently no reason, because I don't know why they suddenly meet in a park. It's completely different from the original story, where Jin was supposed to meet Bok Chim in a prison cell, or something that seemed like it, and he's supposed to receive the fruit as well as acupuncture techniques, which he eventually uses in the future. But in the anime, Muujin just gives Jin the fruit instead of Bok Chim, and then the anime just proceeds to have Jin use acupuncture techniques that he apparently learned from someone, but they just decide not to show. And this also completely ruins the introduction of a 6, as when in the webtoon, Bok Chim was the one who kinda starts the introduction for the 6, but in the anime they just show up out of nowhere. The anime just decides they want to announce the 6 right then and there for no particular reason. Now look, I still like God of High School, the webtoon, not the anime. the anime is not that good, in my personal opinion, and certain elements of it that are good do not compensate for other elements that are kind of shitty. You know, good animation, as I said before, doesn't make up for kind of shitty storytelling and pacing. And I just wish that the anime was more faithful to the original webtoon and just decide not to rush, because them rushing the story kind of makes new watchers confused and in turn just scares them off. And at the end of the day, it will only just please people who were fans of God of High School before, which isn't really increasing the fan base, and that's kind of a problem. So hopefully if they ever do a season 2 or later on in season 1, they somehow fix this problem quick, because if not, I can definitely see the anime doing really bad ratings wise and might even get canceled, you know? And I don't want to see that, because I love God of High School as a show and as a franchise, but they really need to change something about the pacing, because even though it's just one issue, it's messing up everything else in the entire story. Well, that's it for the video. I guess thank you to my TED Talk, to whoever comes here. This is my first video, so I kind of don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but hopefully, you know, you guys can comment video about some things I did wrong, and, you know, I can improve on them, and what other things I should talk about. But yeah, thanks for coming, and if you enjoyed this kind of content, hopefully you come check out my videos in the future, you know? I have a new channel, just trying to grow. Well, that's it for now. Bye.